my channel. Excuse my vocals, they're a little bit restricted. So, wanted to give a little update on what I've done to the buggy so far. So, as those that don't remember or didn't see the video, we had taken a Suzuki, it was an 87 Suzuki 230 cc's 5-speed. And we took the motor, the front wheel hub assembly, and we mounted onto the front. So this is the Suzuki bike of what's left over from it so far. Stay tuned for that because it's going to get repurposed. You guys are going to love that. I got a good idea for it. It's better than this. So, the other thing we did, functioning emergency brake, OEM for the hammerhead. The thing that we added was the shifter is now for the reverse lever. Then the next one is to shift through the gears, 5-speed semi-automatic. So then we modified a Polaris Trailblazer 250 rear wheels to fit onto the hammerhead. There was a problem doing that because somebody welded the center hubs onto the live axle. So now here's where we left off at. We now have a battery tray that's going to be mounted here. That's just mocked up. It's loosely hanging on there. We got all the wires necessary ran to the back for the battery and the rear tail light. We took a 300 Q.U.A.D. tail light and we mounted it here. It has to be welded yet. The exhaust still has to be shortened, fit to my liking, so it's not too far out from the back. We then mounted a cool tire rack to the back. It's just loosely on there. There's the roof. But you can see how it's sitting on there. It looks pretty damn cool. Looks like it actually goes to this. For those that owned a Q.U.A.D. 300, you would recognize these tabs right here. So there's going to be a bar that's going to mount from here to there. These are going to bolt down onto it. And then I'm trying to think that maybe it'd be a good idea to maybe make this detachable on a hinge to where this can come out here and connect in down here somewhere to give extended cargo. So it'll have an extra, a rack flip out here to where you can store more stuff on it. Obviously not heavy stuff because you don't want to ride wheelies every time you go hitting the gas. But this is what it looks like from behind. Well, let me turn the camera this way, you get more of a view of it. And hopefully it doesn't make you look sideways to see it. So, but you can see how much wider the tires are. These are 2411 by 10. In the front, we got, let's see here, 21 by 7 by 10. So now we can fit Suzuki tires and rims in the front. But you won't be able to bolt Polaris wheels on here because I had to drill the holes in the rims to be able to make those fit. You can see the bolt pattern. Yeah, it looks choppy. It's just mocked up for now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to weld in washers in the front. I want to grind it down so it looks like it's part of the rim. And then I'm going to paint them, and then it'll look like it's part of the rim. These here, we're using the Suzuki disc brakes with the hammerhead calipers, brake caliper. They are much bigger in diameter, but I'm going to extend the caliper tabs and reinforce them with some gussets. So that way they don't have a chance of ripping off, but they'll stop this just fine. We got functioning headlights, but it appears to me that those lights are pulling too much of electrical draw on the electrical system. So I'm going to have to step it down the bulb and possibly from set of cheap fog lights, or I'm going to change them and put LED bulbs in it and hardwire it, and then with a pigtail out the back so you can plug them and unplug them. The front shocks appear to be good for what we need it for. She sits up pretty good in the front. I know I said I was going to put dual shock here per side, but I decided to go with the Arctic 500 shock. It's much stiffer, gives me much shock travel, so it'll be a lot better. Unfortunately, that caused this chain to be too short now. Suzuki chain is too narrow, won't fit that sprocket. The Polaris 400 chain is also too narrow. Will not fit the Suzuki, and it will not fit this. So one would say, hey, just swap the sprockets. Nope, not that easy. Those hubs are welded. That's all. You can't do nothing about it. So they're going to have to stay the way they are. So I'm going to need a thicker chain than this and make it longer so it fits this. There has been some thoughts and ideas of maybe extending the rear swing arm to put the tires out here more. So to put them out here right by the exhaust. But the exhaust is going to get shortened. That's what it looks like to me. So now today what we're going to do is, now we got most of everything in its ballpark and range of what it's going to be. We're now going to pull these off and work on the brake calipers, getting those to where they're mounted. Then we can start putting everything together, welding in everything. I don't think that's going to happen today, but I never know. It all depends on how I feel, because you can hear it in my voice. I ain't feeling too well. But as promised, I'm up here trying to get you guys some content, hoping that you guys would appreciate me and my channel. I'm a strong, motivated person. And when I say I like to do something for somebody, I like to actually do it. Irregardless if I feel sick or not. I still would like to continue trying to build this up. I'm not getting paid for it. This is going to be possibly my own personal buggy to cruise around in. So I'm not getting paid for this. It would be nice that guys start showing some likes on my videos and share some, share some respect here. Because this is much easier just to go ahead and do it, take no videos, and don't share it with no one. But here's an idea that's sticking with me is I'm going to make this brush bar fit on here. That came from a Polaris 400 two-stroke. It was a scrambler. So I'm using that for the front brush bar for this, to give it character and give it a little bit better look. So hang tight. I got some things to play with here. And as I get through it, I want to show you guys what I've done to modify it to make it happen, and how I did it to make it happen. And let's see what you guys think of it. Hang tight. We'll be right back. As you can tell, I've been super busy. This is what it takes to do what I do. You would think somebody would appreciate you and hit the like button. So, without going on to a rant, here's what I done. These are the hubs off the Suzuki bike. And yes, my voice ain't too well. I haven't been feeling well, but I make sure I get up here to try to get you guys some content. So, the brake caliper holder, I had to extend it 1/4 inch off of the, well, I call it a stern knuckle. It's where the connecting rod goes to it to turn it. So I had to extend that 1/4 inch. And as you can see, I got that spot on. The next thing I had to do is I had to put a washer before the hex bolt to give it enough clearance in between here and the disc brake from the four-wheeler. Because the axle shaft is a lot shorter by 1/4 inch. Well, actually by that much. So I took this grease seal out of here so the bolt can recess further in there. But I also took a washer like this and stuck it in there. So that way the bearing is not rubbing up against this. Because this one was the hub that was egged out because somebody didn't replace the bearing on it. So I used a outer bearing to was a Ford Ranger. So now if I go ahead and spin this, you can see that she spins just fine. Well, it just tightened up, but so she spins around just fine. The disc is a little bit warped, so which is fine because that'll help spread that back open when riding around. Eventually will resolve itself. So again, I had to take out this grease seal out of there. I had to put this kind of washer in here, then put the castle nut with the cotter pin, and now I can put the four-wheeler wheel back on. So I'll have to repeat it on the other side, 1/4 inch, but I won't have to go through as much trouble because this side, the hub on this guy was egged out, so I had to pay a lot more attention to it. So the other side should be more direct plug and play, and then we should have front brakes. So I got my welder out, Got to use my generator, operate my welder to be able to do what I do here. So, I know not much of a video. There's other clips of the video that I'll add together to make one video, and hope that everything pulls together. So I spent enough time on this, and hope to get some likes. As you can see, where we left off at is we modified the front brake assembly. We had to extend the mounts for the brake caliper, which are sitting in there just fine now. The wheel is loose because the lug nuts are not all on there. But now you can see that problem has been resolved. So the problem was the wheel was too close to here, so I had to put a spacer. And because of this hub, the bearing was not replaced, and while it was on the four-wheeler, somebody had just put a piece of aluminum spacer, and it chewed up some of the hub. So I put an actual wheel bearing, an outer wheel bearing from a Ford Ranger inside of it. So now that's resolved. So today we're going to be working on this one here. Let's see if yeah, here we go. Be able to show you what I had to do to the other side. So I'm going to take this side off. Take me a second here. There we go. All right, so when looking at the center hub, you can see right here, there's this grease seal. Then you got your inner bearing. And then over here you have your outer bearing. And then you would have a washer. Actually, the washer's right there. So that washer's got to come out. That's not going to work. So had to shave this here, which I'm going to clean up better. I just got roughed in. So I had to put a spacer here to pull the brake disc out away from here enough. Then on that other side, I had to cut right down the side here, right down here, just on the inside of this spindle. And then what I did is I cut just a little bit right here, and then I took a piece of steel, I welded in probably about a 1/4 inch. So it brought these out here further, so it's able to go to that outer diameter. This right here is the original hub. And well, you can't see it from the picture, but you know, from the camera, but now you'll be able to see it. You can see the size difference between the two brake hubs. I mean, brake disc. So the first attempt I tried to do was trying to drill holes in this. Killed every drill bit I had, because that would have been ideal. I'm not rich like everyone, so I went with my best route. So I did away with these, and I went with this style setup. But when doing this right here is rised up, so I had to grind those down, and still had enough room to be able to put the Allen wrench in there to be able to take them off if I had to. So somebody painted those. They're going to get cleaned off, and then we'll be fine. So in the end, when it's all said and done, if I ever had to change this, I could put OEM brake calipers from a hammerhead onto here. It would have been ideal to have the ones from here, but they're not there, so I can't use them. But the cool news is I didn't waste nothing. So this four-wheeler can still use the original hub assembly from the hammerhead. So with a small spacer, I can put it on there, tighten it down, and put four-wheeler wheels on it, which would be just fine. So I got this four-wheeler tire and rim. Yes, I'm still sick, but I'm addicted to this stuff. I enjoy building stuff. So I'm going to set the phone down so I can put this on here. Because I actually found a set of four-wheeler tires and rims that actually fit this hub that belongs on here. But the problem is the tire's too fat, so it rubs up against here. If I try to put any spacers onto here, it makes this too short. Then you can't use it. But as you can see, that's a direct fit. So that's awesome news. So I'm going to use those tires and rims for this bike, but this bike is going to get a dramatic makeover. This is one that you definitely don't want to miss out on. So when you see this seat in the video, you're going to know this is getting ready to get up to have something seriously done to it. You guys ain't going to want to miss this. Trust me when I say this. If you like this kind of stuff, these buggies, go-karts, well then my hint to you is you're going to love the ever-living shit out of this. So hang tight for that. I'm hoping to be able to get to that before I have my neck surgery. So there's really not a whole lot more that needs to be done with this. When I get done today, I should have fully functional front brakes. The way they have it set up is both front brakes and the rear brakes are controlled by the same master cylinder. And difference is you have a parking brake that's incorporated into the caliper for the rear brake. So you pull the handle, it locks the back brake, and she can't roll away on you. So slight modifications. The shifter has to get modified. It has to come down lower and come out more. So I'm going to move the shifter up here, but I'm going to extend the shift arm back to there. And I got the perfect piece that's going to make that happen. So the seats at that point will come out and I will set that up, mock it up, and then that would not have a problem. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build a protective area over top of that shift lever so nothing gets jammed up in it and can't shift the gears. Nothing can get around it, under it. I took those shocks off. Now, the other problem is we have a chain that's too small now that I upgraded my shocks to an Articat 500 shocks. They're going to be more ideal for what this is going to be intended for. So now that this sits up higher, my chain's too short. The other thing is I have to weld in some form of bracket from the buggy frame out to the bottom back half of the engine. As you go to put torque on it, the engine pulls to the one side. So I also need to add a support from the top motor mount out to the top of the frame. So that's another thing I'm going to have to do. Right now, that motor is able to zigzag. So I need to make my brackets, and they're going to have to be to where I can bolt them in, because that'll be the only way you can pull that motor out, is throughout the back here. So what I've done is I ordered another chain for this, and I link them together, and then we'll have a long enough chain. The other thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to make a chain tensioner, which is going to be from the bottom mount of the motor, come out with a sprocket, spring loaded, so it can stay on the chain with a sprocket, a small sprocket, so it keeps the tension on the chain. As this squats down, the chain's not going to be loose and risk of dropping off. There's still quite a bit of work left that needs to be done to this, but we are so very close to being finished. And I think my luck's improving. I find it and then I'll lose it. Yeah, that's a go. Hey, here we go. Find the dime. Heads up. So yeah, my luck's improving. So I guess after today, that means that I'm going to start getting more subscribers. And that means I'm going to start getting more likes. And people are going to start sharing my videos, and they're going to be happy. And or they're just going to take my video and share it and make fun of it. Cool. I appreciate it. Share the piss out of it. Make fun of it. I don't care. I'm going to be happy in the end anyway. So, I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to get busy, and I'm going to show more progress. Also, good news. I have found a company, I'm not going to introduce their name yet, is going to provide internet service in this location. So, that means I can start doing a lot better with my videos, which means I can start showing what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and we could do the wonderful time lapse. So that time lapse is going to make me look young. It's going to show me that I'm moving quick when I really can't. So anyways, I'm going to get back to work. I'm going to stop jacking my jaw, and I'm going to make this wheel fit on here today. That's a lot of work to fabricate to get this all done. So I'm going to get going. Pause the video. I'll get back to you. Hang tight. In today's video, I'm using the products from my favorite company called Benchmark Abrasives. They have plenty of things to choose from. We had the jumbo flap disc, 13,000 RPM, 4.5, 80 grit, and they come in different grades. We also have angle grinder. It's a metal stainless steel. It's also 4.5, 13,000, 13,300 RPM. And we're also using the 4.5 cutoff disc, which does an awesome job. I mean, you can see how, well, if I was able to cut a straight line, you can see how it does a very good job. It's too hot for me to pick up, but pay a visit over to our favorite Benchmark Abrasives. You'll be glad you did. This is not the only thing that they have. They have many of things to choose from. So if you go to benchmarkabrasives.com, please browse their website, and you'll be more than happy that you did, because I know I have. So that's what I'm using on this, most of my projects. Since they have sent it out to me, I've ordered it, and then man, I've been happy. They seem to last longer. Um, I've really been using that cutoff wheel on a lot of things during all this. Cutting for back at the motor mounts. Using my flapper wheels. They've been doing a great job, using on my angle grinder. I got a battery powered angle grinder, and it does a great job at, taking the rust out so you can weld in your brackets and all that good stuff, and cleaning the metal up really good. And so pay them a visit. They're the ones that makes it well worthwhile being here on this YouTube channel, along with my other sponsors. That Metal Rescue, man, you guys really need to go check them out. I'm telling you, if you want to save your project from disaster and total rust, you need to get a hold of them, because Metal Rescue, you'll be more than happy you did, and I'm going to use it on all my projects. So if I can only afford 300 gallons of that stuff, well, actually more than that, a swimming pool full, however many gallons that is, I would like to take that right there, that Model A Ford, I'd like to shove that right down in a swimming pool full of that stuff and take that out of there. And I tell you what, I'd be the most happiest man on earth. So, big dreamer, but if I ever get a little bit of money, I'll take that car apart and I'll submerge every part that I can in that stuff. So, yeah, that stuff is like magic. If you don't want to sit there and grind and sand and everything else, you just put that right in that Metal Rescue. Right the next day, you pull it out, you wipe it off, rinse it off, and then put your, you can put it in a bucket of used motor oil, which is what I prefer to do, and that'll keep that rust from coming back. I use it on all of my tools. Any of my tools that gets crusty and rusty, like that pair of needle nose vice grips, I'll soak it in there overnight, pull it out, wipe it off, shove it in the used motor oil, let it hang, let it drip off, and then I'll wipe the tool off, and that rust will stay off of that thing for a long time. So, back to my channel. So here's what I done, is what I had to do on the other side. Because that disc brake is hard to cut, and I want to keep it the same shape that it is, and I like the roundness of it. I like to keep it manufactured as possible. What I don't mind doing is cutting, yeah, it's cool to the touch now. So what I've done is I cut that off of there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bolt this to that caliper, and then I'm going to see and put that hub on, and I'm going to see how far out I need to have it. And then once I get it out to where I need to have it, then I'll know where I need to put this guy at. And then we will have full functioning brakes in the front. And then I got to go into the back and do the back ones. There's only one, so thank God I only have to do that. There's only maybe 2 pieces I have to weld back there, and then that'll complete the full complete brake system. Then this thing will have its own stopping power. That'll be freaking cool. So hang tight and I'll be right back. Don't know what's going on with the phone today. Possibly some static or something keeps shutting the camera off. Well, anyways, to pick up where I left off at is, we haven't had internet in this location for 15 years, and I'm going to give it a test shot. If it works well, I can start doing some time lapse and running my videos longer and making it more entertaining, and my ratings start to come up and you guys start enjoying my channel, well then it's going to be well worth me paying for. So again, I'm trying to do what I can to entertain you guys. I'm not going to know how to entertain my audience if no one leaves comments. So if this is the kind of stuff you don't want to see, hey, Jack, I don't want to see this kind of stuff. Show me something else. Get back to your tea bucket. I would surely love the hell to get back to my tea bucket. There's just not enough money. So, because I don't have an employer to hire me to, because I got broken screws in my neck, this is the kind of work I got to do in order to make something for myself. So I build, I fix, I sell. After I test drive it, enjoy it, make sure it's safe, I sell it. I take a little bit of money, I put it in my tea bucket, put it in my Model A, and put it towards another project. And I keep repeating the process. So you guys hang tight with me and give me a way to go here so I know what direction to go in. I mean, if you guys don't want to see me at all, I mean, just come straight out and say, hey, screw off, pal. We're done with you. Instead of me wasting my time doing these videos, I can get this done a lot faster. Instead of me sitting here talking, I could have already had that back off and welded that all back up, and now I would have had this side done. But I'm here because I'm trying to help people. So try to help me a little bit. I'm getting ready to go down for neck surgery, and I'm kind of relying on YouTube as another source of income. So while I'm laying down in the chair, can't feed myself, going and get the back of your neck cut open, and then go and tell me that you're going to be able to wipe your own tail in and be satisfied. So I'm going to have to get me a bidet. So that's all it's to that, because I'm not going to walk around with a rusty butthole. I don't think Metal Rescue is going to be able to rescue my rusty butthole in that situation. So if anyone knows some good names of some bidet toilet manufacturers, let me know, because that would be well worth the investment, because I don't want to walk around with a rusty butthole. So anyways, enough with my rusty butthole. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video again. Yes, I know. Okay, I know. So I need to pause it because I got two hands. I can't hold the phone and do this at the same time. I'm down now to my last cell phone. They plugged it in, the screen swelled up with the battery, and they blew the screen out. So now I'm waiting for another screen to get here. So now this is the only one I got left. So I got to be careful what I do. So you guys hang tight. I'll come back. I'll show you what else I've done. See you in a bit. All right, and welcome back, guys. Now, you can see that I have got it done. Ignore my weld jobs. I can care less. It holds it. I took a hammer, I smashed it. It don't go nowhere. But you can see in here, she's nice and fine. There ain't nothing wrong there. She's nice and straight. So we have brakes. And this here does not wobble. So that's the difference when having the proper stuff. I got this done a lot faster than that other side because I had to modify that side for it to be able to work. But you can still replace the bearing for that hub that's over there and bolt the wheel on, and it'll be just fine. It's a little sloppy. So I got a hell of a mess to clean up. I'm getting cold. It's getting late. And I about had enough of work for today. My neck is really killing me. So if you guys can do me a favor, hit some likes, hit subscribe, share it, throw me some comments of what you guys want to see. I got another project that I need to do, which is for a friend of mine. He wants me to get his, I believe it's a 1975 to 79 Honda Goldwing. It's the GL 1000. And it's a 4-cylinder, and he wants me to get it to where it starts up. So if you guys want to watch that, and I'll throw a time lapse on it, throw a comment down in the comment section. Let me know. So you guys take care. appreciate you watching. You guys stay positive. Keep doing things every day, no matter how bad it hurts. You'll be thankful that you did. Because I could very easily be sitting at the house and doing absolutely nothing and then can never do anything. So I'm proud of the fact of what I'm able to do in my condition. I challenge many of people to do what I do in my condition and see how long you last. So you guys enjoy, you have fun. Thank you for watching. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. I now have 46. And thank you to all my sponsors. I now have, I believe, 7 of them now. So when you see their address down in the description, please go there, check them out, you know, because these guys, they're awesome. You know, they're like the best people to talk to when you need help with stuff. You ain't got the direct answer, they will be more than willing to help you with it. If you're trying to find a particular part, they will also help you find the part. And they're just overall awesome people. They need the proper recognition. Some already have that proper recognition and they're helping me. So I'm doing, you know, what I'm supposed to do. I'm trying to help back in return. So thank you for all the ones that have faith in me. And thank you guys for the ones that are watching and liking and subscribing. It does make a difference. So long as I keep getting likes and subscribes and people commenting and I'm helping people and I'm, you know, even if it's just one person I helped, it makes this channel worth that much more to me. So you guys enjoy. Thank you for watching. See you next time.